All right, it is a pleasure to do this 2 days in a row. Even both days, getting to pull off this tag. This one was addressed to me. I must have signed up for a free, one of those freebie emails. I hope the audio is okay. It's going to be a little shitty with the cars behind me. I am in the slowest parking lot on the busiest street in town, at least the busiest day of the week. And they're going to go. I'm sitting in the horseshoe of it. I'm going to go to all these fucking places. Maybe not that place. And gonna just gonna sit here with me. That guy was shaking chains. Um, yeah, and so matter of firstly, sorry, hey, you're all right. This seems like way more than I typically have. Bordo de leche. Let's make one glass, mix 1/3 cup and butter. So it's the same scoopies. Ow! Cut in my arm, will ya? So use this. Use that. And this might be a bad idea, but now open it up all the way. Try to be smart. Oh, this is gonna be nice. All right. Little opening. Where are you? Little opening. And then I'm gonna read the other magazine. So what the idea is that the carbs, it's very short carbs, but I need blood sugar because I'm going to kick my ass for 3 hours. And protein, and it's a skim milk version. So dope. I would never want to eat bacon going in because I love bacon. I would eat too much. That kind of seems like enough, right? Maybe a little more every day. And so, we do the whole thing, so messing with. What really is going into your muscles is your blood, and what's really going in your blood is what you just ate. And then things start to store and repair. It's also as they get broken down the second stomach, the third stomach, and stored in the fat and stuff like that. So you are what you eat, but you're really what you eat when you're working out. So I want to be a cow because I'm full of bullshit. All right, so that's good. Time will tell. Am I blocking the shit out of that camera? All right. Does it look like enough? Let's just empty like that. We're doing a thing, and if you're gonna, nobody is watching, but if you check in and you're like, what the fuck is that? That's what that is. That's exactly what that. That's what it looks like. What else could it be? Alright, that's about half of that. Oh, powder everywhere. Call the police. Call the police. There we go. Yeah, I think that's. But it's like 2 scoops of that stuff. So there are 2 cups of water, and fucking some milk. And it's warm. It does. Where are we? It dissolves so much better. You're not showing us what you're doing. All right, enough of that. Just gotta say here, the it dissolves better than the whey powder, and the whey powder is whey, and then the curds are casein, and then you go keep going. Well, curds and whey is just milk. Fucking matter of fact. So for casein and whey, and have and it's gonna mix up so much better, and I'm gonna drink it out of the bottle like a baby in front of people. I'm gonna make baby faces, baby bottle face. If somebody comes up with the car, I'm just gonna look at them and go, "Fuck that shit up," because you ain't messing with people. A little extra time. I also don't want the video to go as long as yesterday's the last one. I don't want bubbles. I wish I had hot water, to tell you the truth. And I usually put in some tea in there, but I'll do that with the other thing. I think I've got the Insta tea. If not, I've got the super squirts. Have I got the super squirts for you? Write that down. You can quote me on that. Okay. Good. Looks like milk. Yeah, and I never have to worry about it with the weight powder. It's like shaking and pumps and get the bottle with the ball in it. Like, get the fuck out of here with the now in it. But it's got to be skim milk. The fat takes a lot more. You would need much less if it was 2%, 1%, 2%. Oh, I forgot a number. I can't even choose. Then we'd nudge in a little bit. They have a cans of condensed milk. I think that would be a little. I could have tried that, but those are also very thick. I don't know. I guess they could have been good. Easier than this. Do that later. Who knows? But now I've got that for afterwards. I don't have to leave a can of good on me. I don't have to leave a can of condensed milk in for the after show, which there won't be because there's no after show. All right, so let's walk and talk. So that's a routing number. Let me just say that. Hold on a second. Postal routing number. God damn. I didn't realize that there's 3 of them. Hard fucking place to find. So yeah. And so I think yesterday we talked about food, and I usually talk about just economics in general. But I'll talk a little bit about the nest that is biz. Yeah, I think I will. So this says strategy and business. The best business books of 2015 has been collecting dust. So I really don't know. I like the idea of vocational, but then there are societies where it's like everybody is gonna be a welder, and then they realize when it's too late they need something else. And we're in the same place. It's like, well, everybody's gonna be just whatever they want. We realize we need skills. And we have a large capitalist consumerist. It's a consumer society is a capitalist as fuck society. As fuck. All right, this is good. I just do like yesterday. So, at home with the unfamiliar by a person. Oh, forget it. Table of contents. The consistency strategy. That's what it sounds like. Hit it and quit it. Can't forget it. You have to. Uh, same thing every time. Consistency. Consistency. The consistency of this is at least definitely all milk and water. It is of a milky consistency. So you want to be all consistently good, consistently positive, and I want to tell you how you live your life. But I do want you to be consistency and know what these things, know what other things are. What maybe you're not consistent, maybe you're honorable or you're dutiful. So what are those things and those things? So we have consistency about wanting to learn, consistency about not wanting to learn, and it's a general thing about walking very slow with a cane with 4 feet on the and I like sitting here. I get to look at the clouds. All right, so which did not look as dramatic as it does out of my eye. So, in the consistency. So, let's say you wanna change habits or you want to change your lifestyle. Well, then in the morning when you wake up, you do something different. Let's say you reach a threshold of failure. Your muscles give out. You become pessimistic or negative or just quitting. You go, oh, at that point, I'm going to consistently every time do something about it. I don't want to tell you what to do, but every time, I guess I'll find out. You'll find out. Every time that happens, you're going to do something menial, innocuous, random, hell random. So you go, oh, when your car runs out of gas, that's great. You put in gas. So when you quit, run outside straight up. That's the dumbest thing I've ever said. Or say you're going to watch the Weather Channel, or I don't know. You're going to put yourself in a positive place. Every time you give up, you'll go to the gym. Every time you're done with the gym, and that becomes the alternative to failure becomes action, and with enough action becomes success, because maybe every time you start, you fail. But every failure is quitting. There is no other failure. There are no stupid questions. There are no failures. And without taking the long run around it. So every time you want to quit, hold on a second. I'm getting a call. They cut me through. Thank you. That So every time you quit, you run outside. Every time you quit, you go to the gym. Every time you finish going to the gym, you go outside. You look up, and that way, hold on. That way, you decide, oh, there has to be something done. You get you in the process of walking, moving your feet. But also, let's say it's a reward system that every time you fail, you reward yourself. Anyway, you're going outside and you run out. That's a bad way to reward yourself. You reward yourself with some candy, or you reward yourself with a trip to the movies, or they still have shopping malls, or are we all VR headsets for Amazon, or whatever your online store is, online store or online banking, all in one chip in your head. The Every time you fail or quit, have a dream. I don't really care. Have a chip in your head, better than a chip on your shoulder. And so let's say it becomes the reward system, and you've gotten used to it, and you've decided you've got some habits. And like I said, the gym, I'm trying to get around to it. I'm having trouble talking today. The milk makes you, however, lean is a little bit, it does congest a little, I don't know, muggy. Makes breathing a little weird. You clear yourself with water or lemons, not with milk. And so let's say for me, I would get out of the gym, and I would reward myself with something vital to my muscles. The milk, just real quick, lean skim milk. It's a great. You still need solid food, but it's a good quick protein for protein synthesis. So I'm rewarding myself, but it also serves my purpose in that goal endeavor, in that run. I try to be simple for where are we, 21st century? Sorry, get rid of that. And so every time you do something, and let's say every time you fail, that you're going to go out and look at the sky, and when you go outside, you realize there's an apple on a tree. The metaphor, huh? Symbolism of that apple is no different than the trophy at the finish line. Everything you get done, you be grateful for it. You be grateful for it. I will be grateful for it. So I get out of something hard and I reward myself. And eventually, if I don't reward myself with something horrible, smoking or alcohol, however fun or however controlled you may be, makes the muscles break down a little bit. So it's a reward that doesn't have full positive potential energy. So you want something and you go, oh, and it's for your cause, you pick the apple. Yeah, I know. So I get out, I do something I decided, afterwards I want the milk and it's positive energy. And then I realize that that's positive energy and I can feel better about myself. But then I've got enough energy to do something else. And so the reward should be something essential. Now, if you're at the start of the race, you're not rewarding yourself. I'm kind of running through it, but right, you say that doesn't make sense. I'm drinking the milk beforehand, but you say when I wake up, I'm going to take a shower, and then the benefit of that is you're clean, right? Let's say you have somebody brings you some hamburger. Do you know what that is, hamburger? You say, when somebody brings it to me, I don't know how to cook, I'm not a chef. And you're going to cook it, they pay you for it. Not to make this about business. And then You get to eat something, they get to eat something, that's the reward. Then you have enough energy, and you get to learn. Oh, you learn from the experience. Cooking it is better than eating it raw. So you get out of the gym, you drink your milk, you take your shower, maybe not in that order. The practice is the reward, the effort, the work is the reward. And I know there's a big thing about people who hate their jobs too. All right. Sometimes you just get in and you hate your job. And I'd be if on the other hand, there might not be a way to not hate your job. But I really feel if you realize that at the point when you hate your job, instead of waiting for confirmation, and anybody looking for bad news is going to find bad news. You do somebody else's job, or you tell yourself, "I'm going to do somebody else's job," or or you tell yourself, "I'm going to do my job again. I'm going to double check. I'm going to train. I'm going to ask, well, what does the boss do?" And so it's not fun. Is it supposed to be? No. But that's what it is. The consistency strategy. So that almost sounds consistently. Be in action. Be hustling, rising and grinding. So when everything is said and done, you consistently, since you just did something, do something else. Some people can't sit still. And they'll say, "Oh, well, boys have to be." I remember a lot of mine being on facing the wall, holding books, nose on the chalkboard during the winter. Maybe you like to do things. Maybe you forgot how you do things. So remember now, and then next time that you reach the threshold where it comes time again, remember what you like to do and do that. And then we start finding out if that was what needed to be done. Or you find out that nothing needs to be done, but you need to find out by remembering. Now, when you're living and you're acting and you're doing, don't do it back there. Where I don't know what your left and right is. Don't do it that way. Go forward. If I point to my right, okay, so go forward. All right, next, bonding with infrastructure. I think we just covered it. Wherever you are, you hate it. You realize when you get done, don't wait for confirmation, and don't wait for you to tell yourself. The ability to talk yourself out of things is there. So make yourself part of the environment. Make yourself part of the workforce. Maybe blend in, hide, don't do your job. It's not the way at all. That's the opposite of a way. That's sitting still. That's hiding. So I guess I'm not explaining well because I can picture it. I'm not really explaining it. Like me pointing at where I want things to go instead of telling you what needs to go there. You're not going to sit somewhere and hide and go, "Well, I want this to be more important and paid more for something they didn't hire you to do." So you do your job of this and that. Bonding with the infrastructure, not your boss. You're not going to kiss ass. Well, you are. You are going to kiss ass. I was going to say you're not going to be able to tell a joke and get your way out of work. You might get it. It's like a family. Maybe there's a favorites. The job is a job. Technology alone won't change the world. I think that's equally as at work, but more so at home. Equal, but more. There is no amount of social media posts that are purely opinion, often wrong, with no actual photos, not a meme or a GIF or the typography, superimposed text. There's without links. We can talk about entire news companies that, thank you for the noise, entire news companies that put out things, stories, because the space is there. So like I said, you need to be at work and keep working. They put out stories because they need to be, they're a news station, so something needs to be on the screen. Seen it. I'm talking in clean rock, dude. Shaman. So, there's no amount of textbook wasted bullshit posts that are going to change the whole world and talk them into coming to your doorstep and go, "Hey, can I worship you?" No, it's not going to. It's typically not going to happen. You can't just make sure. Everybody cares about the human condition, but really, it's a waste of time as much as it is anything else. The most you can hope to do is to add to the conversation. I don't like this. This shouldn't be a thing. Why is it there? Because they are. The world turns whether you post or not. So just add something more important. I was doing this yesterday. I eventually the same Walker. What's next? The best defense. Aerospace and defense contractors should zero in on what they do best to fend off aggressive activist investors. Until it said activist, I have no idea what that means. Or once it said that, I have no idea. I guess, let's say you invest in a troop that is in civil aeronautic defense, and it becomes a tasty stock, and everybody invests in it and starts to build bubbles, and then some company falls right on it before they can make something critical to the future of the human race. Rock on, but I don't really know what that means in correlation to what we're talking. Take a look. The best defense. Aggressive activist investors could be going for because they know it's a civil defense company. They don't know what you mean. So perhaps that goes on to say, so make the product and show the product and sell what you're selling. Don't be shy. All right. Fake it till you make it. Doesn't count in all instances. Because I can fake that I'm happy and be hiding, and it could be some sort of physical presentable lie. This is very sad. Millennials play the long game. I'm in the last year of millennials. I'm very too old for that. Like, we had an Atari, but I'm also an InfoSec, kind of. Not right now. You know the story. You know the story by now, but not right now. So it's kind of a weird thing. It's kind of a weird thing. Or no, that's not okay. I had an Atari. Now I make memes. The fucking Atari, the one from the 80s. So it's a different world. Every time you blink. Millennials play the long game. With the right incentive, younger hires want to commit to your organization. I bet you those are conservative kids. With fewer and fewer instances of people hardworking, will you find people that want to give a shit? I mean, why don't give a shit about taking away guns or whatever our conservative is here in the United States? People go, you don't want to live in the past. No, but I do want to do what works. But then again, in other countries, they're fine. They don't have the defense culture. They come from somewhere where they hired out warriors or knights or shoguns, and that was their thing. They weren't the people they really weren't the intermediaries. They weren't the land between kingdoms. And that's where we live in the States. And so fuck all you people trying to disarm the victims. I can't say that enough. And we do generally live in a spot where it's the farmers become soldiers, the soldiers become farmers when it's necessary. I don't know why, and I can't understand why that's a hard concept for everybody else. What I would do, since I mentioned being constructive, is the vocational school, is the world-class arts. Instead of teaching to a test that is more randomized than a project app that somebody filled with questions for their operating system application store, full of just crappy questions. Like, it's just so weird. It's like, remember, individually, at face value, some of those questions are very important and are part of mathematics and this and that, but it's just so widely dispersed that the graduation and qualifying exams, it's like, you won trivia night at a bar. And now you're qualified to be an adult? No. So I think we really need some sort of focus. It's things going on. And people, tend to like stuff. SMB trend watch. Make way for the connected car. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think it's Linux Drive or Google Drive, not Google Drive, but Google Mobile or something like that. Cars have operating systems now, and somewhat slightly independent. So there's no doubt in my mind that they're pinging towers as they go along. And they have the police can run through your neighborhood with the thing and make everybody's phone ping it, and figure out all the phones, just like a whitehead hacker. So they're gonna know where the cars are one day. What you need to do is get the cars to have the operating system, since they're charging off the batteries while they're running, to run mining, and have the processors ping location comparatively much, well, just as much as GPS, but on a two-dimensional ground level flat surface, or I guess it's three-dimensional, pinging everybody's car to car and the washer to the lawnmower to the lampposts and stuff like that, and then your currency is just endless. Yeah, that's another fucking Klingon Bitcoin. And I'm sorry if you get that so far into the video, that so they realize that we don't want to have the king's money. We'll have our own money, and then becomes an area where that's involved, and then banks come around, and then banks don't want to have the king's money, and then people don't want to have the bank's money, and then here we are at Bitcoin. So, and their technology. So this is just where we are with the money, because people like to have stable currency. And I know that they can have cryptocurrencies in highly communist countries. But one day, it is my dream that because of the way reality works, that somebody's going to buy that country. Somebody who wants to, like, buy Cuba or buy Cuba, purchase Cuba, and to purchase it to keep it exactly the same. But all those principles about having the money and the people's power in it, which is the hardest thing to do in a communist country where the people are supposed to have the power, which just blows my mind on a daily fucking basis. On a daily flip kick basis, that I hope they edit that in. That that it'll just be what I want it to be. The good old days before the meddling of the monarchs. Self-proclaimed monarchs in there. Oh, well, I'm elected, but if you elect me, I'll be the new monarch. You know what I mean? Some people want to kill the master to become the master. It's a very, let me wave my hand, it's a very slippery slope. Anything with persistence. It's like, I know it seems like gambling to you, but it's, you get out of bed, you take a shower, you get out of bed, you go do this, you get out of bed, next time you quit, you realize, oh, I need to do something essential to my personal plan, to your personal plan, to somebody else's personal plan. Next time you quit, look around. Next time you quit, check your list. And I'm going to do that list too if I find that piece of paper. Navigating retail's last mile. I think with anything, when you wake up and you go, oh, we got to do it. The next time something bad happens, I will do something with momentum. I will do something with positive action and activity going forward. Make things better. It might rain. It's getting cool and dark. I better roll up the windows, and then you'll get the benefit from that. And I think navigating retail's last mile is you just you go in person, you go, hello, I'm looking for work, can I speak to the manager? And you go store to store to store to store to store to store, and I'm sorry, but you might strike out, and like it's just with the guy who is depressed and not find a reason to keep going the first time, and you go again. Or it's kind of the same way with other aspects of the human condition. Just ask and ask and ask. You'll find out that there are wrong ways to ask. And if you're a chick, I think the other way to do it is you go, do you want to take me to dinner? That's the only, you don't have as many ways to ask as we do. And then, if you can, you wanted somebody who could afford dinner anyway. So, I mean, you got that going for you. The frugal way to grow. It's 50% of your mouth, 50% of your mouth. Who was I talking about again? That is funny. Put 50% of your money in a non-taxable account and then save 100% everything else. And by that I mean that don't mean like you have to save it, but you buy the food, you go to the resale shop. By the time you're my age, you're supposed to have 1 year's salary or twice 1 year's salary in savings, and so that you have that set aside plus your weekly, bi-weekly, monthly check or your annual. Even if you're a contractor, you're supposed to have a lot saved up. I don't. Most people don't. They don't tell you that. That would be another thing to teach in school instead of the greatest hits of the Civil War. You could have said it was bad and moved on. Innovation, New World Order. Well, it was raining. Innovations, New World Order. It was raining. And I decided it was time to invent something to stop the rain. Is that not going? Oh, come on. I put there's little clamps in the window, and one of them has too much glue. Frugal way to go. Innovations, New World Order. Profiling the Global Innovation 1000. There are 1,000 businesses near you. Figure out what you want to do. Get a job. Go to work. Innovative companies. Once you have a job, figure out that place is going nowhere. If it's a franchise, your boss or the person who owns the building owns one or several stores, but doesn't own all the stores. So when it comes out of that thing, you need to innovate ways, and most of their innovation is in the advertising, showing pictures of the food at its best. And so that's why when you serve your food, you're even if you give a shit or not, you got to put the best product out there so they come back. And that's the innovation. That's the enticing. That's the bait. The be your own activist investor. I guess because it says strategy and business, they want activist investor is like really kind of like buying new coins. You really, it's really just a total gamble. So you don't just invest in anything that you want to invest in things everybody needs, and even that can be scary. And then when I talk about is utilities, tangible assets, actual assets like real estate or a building with people in it. And it could be when other people here invest in things that people use and need. That could mean stocks for those companies. And I don't always agree with that being safe. I mean, I don't have any qualms with it yet. I'm not a sandright. The Fortune 500 teller. That's what I'm doing here. Best business books of 2015. No. An expensive breakdown in communication. If you don't like your job, tell somebody. I'm telling you right now, if you just keep doing it and then get a better one. I've changed careers several times. The still got that bump. Basically, it could be expensive if I had done this square thing with the head inside of it, because maybe you learned something critical. Had I not said something that I thought was important, an opinion, a stated fact, what I thought was to improve the situation, not just sit on here and complain, what's with these people tonight? Or that I had to make this because of clickbait. Don't forget the story has things you've heard about in places. Like, what does that matter? I've heard about everything, and everything is in a place. It's clickbait. You don't have to watch the news. You don't have to pick a side. You have to go to work anyway, so why not just quit putting poppers? You have to go to work anyway, so just go back to work. I'm not drinking the milk. I forgot. I don't know. And there are things that exist. To run down the road singing, you'll feel better. Better be what you love, because it doesn't impress everybody. The machine age. You're watching a video. I don't have to explain to you what a machine is. and I can't really explain to you. But that's a good trade, learning how machines work. You go, I want to learn about machines, and somebody will go, oh, that's great. Why don't you go read some books? Find somebody doing something you want to do. Don't tell them you want to start working there if you don't know. Tell them you want to know how they got there. Find out. Get yourself closer to the dream. Dream big. And then get at that shit. And it can be hard. And typically, anything you want to do, you can wait to become the manager, or you can go to management school. That's the thing. Of which you'll end up I grandly believe that you'll find out that you're sort of between people who need to be there and people who don't. And that's what makes a good manager. And then that whatever part of a one store, part of a small group of collection, which is also part of a larger franchise, your management goes up and up and up because you want to find out who's good for the gander or whatever that is. The capturing attention and data in the digital age. This is PowerPoint presentations, statistics, data, charts. People used to use R. I'm sure they still do. There are a lot of people that only do math for science, for other scientists on the team. They're the mathematician of a team. And so they might use R. But you could use Python. You could use you can use damn near any language. But Python has really come a long way. And I support that. That's definitely a big piece of the puzzle. I forget I made a joke once. There was a Klingon programming language called I or something. Or A. Right? Everybody's going to have one. So if your idea is charts and machines. What a character! Exclamation point. We talk about TV personalities. This is the kind of thing I'm just hucksters and I'm trying to clickbait and then get on the screen. You put yourself out there. It's just the same thing. You apply to every job. You go to every interview. What do the actors do? They go to every audition. If you did one a week, that's 52 auditions a year. You're bound to get a commercial or something other simple. And those people have regular jobs in service or retail. I don't know what that's called. I did retail a long time ago. You just go and you go. I mean, this is for some people it's common sense. I don't want to say that you don't know common sense, and comment sense down in the bottom. If I'm way off, go ahead and tell me. That's fine. And if I'm dead, go put it anyway. That's great. I don't care. They don't care. That's why we're here. We're here to be here until we're not. Why would you not be here while you're here? Take that in. It's pretty simple. Oh no, let's do more milk. Yeah, and I need some definition. I'm hoping in the next couple of videos just to get back to swole. I took a week off because I hurt the side of my back, and then I took another week off because I hurt this little hinge in my shoulder. It's a bunch of, what is that? I just got here. My arms are tired. The very political economy. There's a thing called a hot take. If you're going to do the political commentary, don't get on the screen and go, what is it with the thing that we don't like? Just go, I don't like it. Here's what I want to do. Here's what they were doing. This is why what they were doing is wrong. Bam, 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 bam. It's a book report out of your mouth. You might as well be a comedian. Hot take. In knowing the way I've seen it go in 2 days, the one after, the even between 1 and 3. In 2 days, nobody's going to remember right away. If everybody's remembering what you are, you get the next 2 days, it's almost a week, and maybe you make it to the news, and then they forget that in a week. People remember things like, they end up becoming like me, and I said, they remember faces and not names. Hey, you were in that thing that one time, and I was in the. That's all I ever want. The search for innovation. That is also the struggle for the Enlightenment. So to bring back science. They had this once before, to bring back science and math and stuff. People were having trouble figuring out how to measure the cross beams in their catapults. anything before that, right? And then they figure out they need how to make a steam engine for the coal mines in the 1600s. Coal is not a new thing. You can't go when the lights came on. We needed coal, right? Oil the oil is 1,000 years old easily. So they need a bigger pumps better than that. And so somewhere, I think it was, what is the alignment, 1100? The Scottish people know this, they did it best. And it was, they had the alignment, included poetry. They really kind of nailed it for a while. And then now they're just fucking off. The, hey, Skyline, don't get pissed. is, search for innovation. And so they would decide, they needed a refresher in technical skills. Now we have computers. That shit gets a little warbled. I think when you do that, you need to go to find the certification roadmap and decide if you're in security or networking or programming. Plain and simple. Now, all of them are going to have to learn a programming language, but those are the three, and you stick to those. And before you go to college, go to the CompTIA, get your A+ certification, because you're going to be working on fixing your own computer to stay in the online courses, which are way more useful utility in a lot of campuses. And I've noticed even when I went to campus, and now they've got the same university, which is, they've got a lot of schools, as an online program is way better than the going in person and have them not answer questions. If you have a teacher who doesn't answer questions, you are out of fucking luck at that point. That's a crash. Reassess your situation. I'm almost done with these credits, right? The thought leader interview. I think that says a lot right there. Are you the thought leader? Clearly, you have a mind. Clearly, you have a world. Everybody has ears. So you don't want you don't want to, you want fresh air, you want clean ideas. I don't know about fresh ideas, and there are no new ideas. What if I guessed a new idea and it was in this book? You're in the midst of that. But you might be able to find out with thought, innovation, something new for you that makes your world important. And you are and you and everybody else watching is in the business of making sure your world is safe all the time. So you don't have to think about yourself first, but realize that you're part of everything you do, and take care of yourself and save your money and work and get stronger and do squats. What? And find some things. Find some things. Find all the things you need. Get all the things you need and lock them down and all that kind of stuff. Or figure out how you have to be internally. If you have problems with that, it's a self-help problem. You solve yourself within. You make yourself more presentable, attractive, all that kind of stuff. Stuff that, these are all, it's the spectrum of things. You need to put all the pieces together. You need to make sure that you're standing in the right place to see all the pieces. That's basically all I can really tell you. The Thought Leader Interview. A celebrated proprietor of... I have to read it in English. Hold on. A celebrated proprietor of innovation, his name, explains how companies can cultivate the rare people who create miracles. And I think it starts with you. I think you start the magic, worrying about your world. Balanced one step at a time. Balance forward and backward is really this whole side to side. Forget it. Forget it. Good night. Are you going forward? Are you falling down? Are you getting back up? Have you done that and you run an obstacle course and now it's time to rest and get up and feed yourself, all that good stuff. I already forgot what it was. The people who create miracles is definitely you and your magic. And if there is no magic in your world and you miss that, start making it. Fiction, poetry, songs, raps, lyrics. I can't remember lyrics. Maybe you write some lyrics that nobody forgets. I don't know. Some people can't sleep, right? poetry in the middle of the night. That's what I do. I think generally if you don't know and you have to write things down and like, oh, that's what I was going to do too. I guess I can do that list later. I was going to go there. Let's just have it signing on. Like, subscribe if that's something that you do. If not, I invite you to watch this video at least once. And I'm good if you don't. It's very muggy. That's another thing. I'm going to go, I can't breathe. I can't take it. There should be a world with better breathing. All right, look. Wait, what was the thing? Where did it even go? Ah. Come on. Well, I wasn't going to read the whole thing. I mean, I guess I could do that. Like, go to the park and read the whole thing. Even a blank piece of paper can have lines. Maybe you have lines. You need to write down what you need to do. You're the teacher, so you give yourself the grade. And then the review is, every once in a while, look at that list and see if you need to change it. As I'm signing off, I'm going to hit the button on the screen. Thank you, everybody.